Do you know how much the British taxpayer currently spends on welfare for foreign nationals?
No, I don't.
Do you know how much they spend on welfare for universal credit for foreign nationals?
No, I don't, off the top of my head. And if you're trying to shame me by asking me to have this information right now,
then... If we're going to have a conversation...
This is exactly why so many British voters no longer trust the political establishment. Welcome to Julian Discourse. If you believe political commentary should be direct, honest, and actually grounded in facts instead of talking points, make sure you subscribe and join the conversation, because we're going to be breaking down moments like this regularly. Now, in this exchange, a Labour MP is asked a very simple question about welfare spending for foreign nationals, and what follows is a complete collapse of confidence once the conversation shifts from slogans to actual numbers. And honestly, the deeper this discussion goes, the more revealing it becomes. Let's get into it.
In May, down in Kent, in Derbyshire, we have got your councillors saying, oh, God, actually, it's not quite as easy as we thought it was going to be. Oh, we'll have Doge come in and make a load of cost savings. And actually, it's not as easy as you think it's going to be. So sitting in a position of opposition is one thing.
So
actually having to deal with the decisions in power.
For example, what we have said, number one, and this could absolutely be done by primary legislation, you could end welfare payments for foreign nationals, right? That would save double-digit billions of pounds every year and would compound over the coming decades. Is that something the Labour government would do?
So we've absolutely said, as part of the upgrades to the immigration and asylum system, that we're absolutely going to overhaul who can and can't claim benefits.
So you're going to end welfare payments for foreign nationals?
Honestly, I'm not even going to answer that question with a yes or no, because I don't have the detail, and you will not find me giving an answer to a question I don't know the answer to.
That as a no,
that's a I don't know. No, Zia, it's a I don't know.
Okay. It's quite an interesting thing to not know, given... Do you know how much the British taxpayer currently spends on welfare for foreign nationals?
No, I don't.
Do you know how much they spend on welfare for universal credit?
No, I don't, off the top of my head. And if you're trying to shame me by asking me to have this information right now,
then... If we're going to have a conversation, a serious conversation...
Well, what's the answer? Because my viewers won't know either.
Well, the answer, the British government currently, and the Tories did this too, they hide the data, Michelle, in terms of welfare payments to foreign nationals. The one major exception to that is universal credit, where it is £8 billion this coming year alone that will be shelled out by people watching this programme who paid their taxes, that goes directly to foreign nationals. That's just universal credit. That number is growing exponentially.
And do you know what position?
Evidence that Labour are even trying
Just
to
one
solve
second,
that
though.
problem.
But so that is a really broad, sweeping brush to bash people over the head with. Do you know the personal circumstances?
Yes,
it is. Let me finish.
Anybody over the head
yes, it
with anything.
Is. You've just said this is the figure.
If British taxpayers pay their taxes, they go to work and they pay their taxes.
How do you know how many? How do you know?
Position to say that taxpayer money should only go if it's welfare.
Right, but how do you not know that those foreign nationals have not been over here working for years and years, and their circumstances changed, and then they needed to be in a position where they were supported for a period of time?
In this country, and they are currently requiring the British taxpayer to fund them, then I'm sorry, they have broken the contract that is implicit in an immigrant being in this country.
So if they lose their job through no fault of their own, you're saying they shouldn't be entitled to support to get back on their feet so they can continue contributing to this country?
Yeah, we are saying that it is totally unconscionable for bricklayers and nurses and people working in retail stores to go to work and pay their taxes so that foreign nationals can benefit from their welfare payments.
So just addressing...
That's acceptable.
All right,
and what
just
Labour are doing
that.
instead, what your Chancellor is about to do is raise taxes on everybody whom I have just mentioned in order to continue to fund a food bank for the world.
No.
And that is the point.
No, that's not
somebody's
true.
Got to pay. Somebody has got to bear the brunt of the, quote, difficult decisions to be made.
So here's the stat. Let me get a word in edgeways, please,
It's always British citizens who have to pay the brunt.
Let me get a word.
What made this exchange so damaging for Labour was not the confrontation itself. It was the fact that a government representative appeared completely unprepared to defend the very system her party expects taxpayers to continue funding. And voters noticed that immediately. Because at its core, this debate was never just about immigration. It was about accountability. If working Britons are being asked to pay higher taxes during a cost of living crisis, then naturally they expect politicians to understand exactly where that money is going. But increasingly people feel that nobody in Westminster can give a straight answer anymore. That's why Zia Yusuf's approach landed so effectively here. He didn't rely on slogans or emotional rhetoric. He kept forcing the conversation back to numbers, costs, and consequences. And the moment the Labour MP admitted she didn't know the figures, the entire dynamic changed. Because fair or unfair, moments like that reinforce a growing public perception that many politicians are detached from the real-world impact of the policies they defend. And that perception is becoming politically dangerous. The Labour MP tried shifting the discussion toward individual circumstances and emotional framing, but that only exposed the deeper frustration many voters already feel. People are constantly told there's not enough money for lower taxes, affordable housing, better public services, or meaningful economic relief. Yet when billions in welfare spending are questioned, the political class suddenly becomes evasive. That contradiction matters. And it's one of the biggest reasons outsider movements like Reform UK continue gaining traction. Not necessarily because every voter fully agrees with them, but because they are speaking directly to frustrations many establishment parties seem unwilling to confront honestly. This is also why clips like this spread so quickly online. One side appeared confident, direct, and prepared. The other appeared uncertain and defensive. In modern politics, that contrast alone can shape public opinion faster than policy ever will. And ultimately, this exchange exposed something much bigger than a disagreement over welfare spending. It exposed a growing collapse of trust between ordinary voters and the political establishment itself. Because once people stop believing their leaders understand the consequences of their own policies, frustration eventually turns into political realignment. And that is exactly what Britain may be starting to experience now.